Hi, welcome back to All Politics is Local. As we continue to interview the candidates running for school committee in the May 18th election, we're joined by Marc Terry, who's running for re-election to the Ashland School Committee. Marc, thanks for taking a couple minutes to join us here on All Politics is Local.
Thanks for having me, John.
It's a pleasure. You're running for re-election. Tell the voters how many terms you've served on the current school committee.
I've served 2 3-year terms, so I'm seeking a third.
Good for you. It's a labor of love. So that'll be 9 years on the school committee. It's been a challenging year. COVID-19. Personal opinion and nonpartisan. I think the school committee should be commended for the way you guys have guided the kids through COVID. What are your biggest concerns as the kids return to the classroom as a member of the school committee? What is Marc Terry specifically concerned about?
Yeah, thank you, John. I mean, it has been a challenging year and a lot of tough decisions. And I want to take just a minute to thank Audrey LaCroix and Ed Berman for all the input they've given the committee through the year. We really relied very heavily on them to make the decisions we've had to make. And I'm confident that we've done the best job we could. We relied on information and science as best we could. And we've been in school a lot more than I thought. If somebody told me that we probably would have missed 6-7 weeks to school, which is I think the time the high school was out in November to January, and that was it. In retrospect, I would have said I'll take it. So not what we hope for in any year, but as where we are now, we're trying to come down the home stretch and keep kids in school. I think the biggest challenge that we've seen is that people are getting vaccinated. That's really helping with community spread. But we haven't had, the best of cooperation from some of the kids. And it's understandable. A lot of teenagers, in particular at the high school, they want to be social. It's in their nature. But we've had, a few more outbreaks than we would like. And, for my concern for the remainder of the year is just, let's see if we can pull this off. Let's stay in school, make sure we don't have to go back to remote at all this year. And finish up strong and think about that as momentum for next year.
I'm asking each candidate of this because I made the analogy when I returned to the office, I had lost muscle memory of how to even do my job, the traditional way. I can only imagine what it's like for younger children and especially teenage kids. And the mental health aspects of COVID. I mean, luckily the pandemic hasn't affected too many school age kids, in terms of deaths, but I do worry about the mental health aspects. Do you have any concerns on that same?
Yeah, for sure. And I don't think we really are able to evaluate where we are. We really felt that through most of the year, and it's a question we asked Jen Cutler, our director of guidance and social emotional learning, and asked Jen, what are you seeing? What are you seeing in your work with the kids at the high school? And she consistently told us, she's like, it's better than we thought, and kids are really doing all right. I think we started to see a little bit more of a concern popping up. A few hospitalizations for mental health reasons. That was, in the last couple months. And it's, look, everybody's worn out at this point. We all are, and everybody's doing the best they can. But I don't know that we really have a full appreciation of what the long-term impact on this is now. I think right now people are still kind of somewhere in that day-to-day to sort of looking 2 months forward kind of time frame. I think it's going to take a while before people kind of come back to their equilibrium. So it's certainly something that we need to continue to support kids both during the school year and the summer and in the fall when they come back. Make sure we're really watching out for the best interest of all kids.
You got a new school being built, so that's got to be an exciting accomplishment, and kudos to you and the school committee for that. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, no, that's certainly one of the things I feel really good about having been a part of. And I don't want to take any credit from the school building committee and the leadership that Paul Kendall on our committee has provided there. He's done a phenomenal job. Mm-hmm. But it is something that kind of ties back to one of the things I was doing even before getting on the school committee. We were looking at space needs, and it was sort of the outgrowth of that led to modular classrooms at Warren in the short term, but also the recognition we need to replace them into this building. So it's certainly something I feel really good about. It's one of the things that I hope to have seen happen on the school committee while I serve. And I'm thrilled that we're going to be able to offer a brand spanking new building in 2023. And as important, I'm really pleased that the community supported it at the ballot box by such a wide margin. You know, to have a vote of something like 1,500 to 200 in support of this project, as well as the public safety building, you know, that really says a lot to, you know, the buy-in that was achieved through, and I give, you know, honestly, I give the school building committee most of the credit for this. Buy-in that was achieved because of the way that process played out and how transparent it was. You know, I think that was huge, and I certainly feel real good about it, and everybody who's involved should.
If you're fortunate enough to be reelected to another 3-year term to the school committee, do you have any goals or projects that you want to see done over the next 3 years?
Yeah, I think we've got a few things in the very short term, and then some things that are going to be ongoing projects. Excuse me. I think the one of the short term things is we've got to address some class size issues in the middle school. You know, our hope is to use some of the stimulus funds to add staff to deal with the bubble that's going through, as we call it, group of classes that are abnormally large. They're in the middle school right now that are pushing class sizes upwards of 30. So we really want to work on that. I'd really like to see us to expand some of the elective offerings of the high school. And I think another thing that the school committee really took a progressive stand on, and I really support, is we've made a commitment to becoming an anti-racist school district. And I think our work in that regard is just starting. There's been a consultant working with the high school this year, and I expect, say, if elected, you know, over the summer, the school committee is going to sit with the consultant and really talk about, you know, what's our role, where are we going, and how do we move forward with that work, which I think is, you know, so critical to the future of all our students.
Well, good for you. So Marc Terry, take a minute to tell the voters of Ashland why they should reelect you and send you back to the school committee.
Yeah, thanks, John. Thanks again for the opportunity to be here. You know, I guess what I'd say is I got involved because I have a commitment to education, I have a commitment to our community, and I've really since day one, always felt like I came to the idea of serving on the school committee because of community service, a commitment to community service, and a commitment to what's best for our kids. And I hope that over the last 6 years, every decision that we've had to make has been made through that lens. I certainly feel like I've made every effort that I can, and I think the committee as a whole has too. So, you know, when I think about why am I continuing to do it, it's because I still believe in those same things. You know, I still believe in public education. I still believe in making sure we're providing the best we can for every one of our kids. And, you know, I really hope to have another term of 3 years to continue to serve. And who knows, maybe, you know, 3 more and 3 more. It's something I see myself doing for as long as the voters will have me.
Well, good for you. He's Marc Terry. He's running for re-election for the Ashland School Committee. Look for him on the ballot. And Marc, thanks for taking a couple minutes to join us here on All Politics is Local. More importantly, good luck.
Thanks, John. I appreciate being here.